What happened is that most of the times when I was going to work in the morning,
Right.
I would meet the professor and he would just wave at me. So to me it was just another new white guy in town.
Okay.
Because for some time I didn't know him, but all of a sudden I started seeing a parkie being parked there, an old white guy. It really startled me, it made me wonder what is really happening. I was wondering. So by chance, I'm working with one of the ladies. She's also a teacher at the school that I used to work.
Okay.
And this lady, she told me about this white guy in town,
Right.
having extra lessons for this.
Right.
for this
Now she was a
children.
teacher at the school where you attended,
Yeah,
where you were taught, where you were teaching.
where I was teaching. Yeah. And so it so happened that we were talking more about this guy and why is it so important that the kids have to go there.
Right.
And this lady was just telling me that ever since her children started attending to the professor, they no longer have that much interest in television, going to the streets and playing. Most of the times when they come from school, they ask their mother if she's taking them to the professor, because it was their first time experience on a laptop, doing everything on a laptop without anyone telling them. They're just punching. You see, like they get an exercise, they answer it for themselves using a laptop. So they would take pride in that. I can operate a laptop, I can
Right.
learn. Yeah. So she was also excited.
Right.
And after the session, the children, when they go home, most of the times they would want to recall what they were doing here.
Okay.
Maybe that's when they take their homeworks and they are really. So to her it was something.
But you became curious about that.
I became curious about
Right.
that, and
So what was your next step? What did you do then?
I greeted him, and then the other day I asked him if I can come and see what he's doing.
Right.
And then he said, no, it's okay, no problem, you can come.
Right.
Then one of the afternoons, when the lady was coming here that I work with, I also come with her.
Okay.
And then I saw what he was doing, and I asked him, and when he told me I had an interest, then I couldn't just stop. Then I have another cousin brother of mine that is also from Zimbabwe. He's got a small child. Then I asked the professor if I can bring that child here, and the professor said it's okay. I went to talk to the child, and then she started attending.
Okay.
So when she was attending here, there is one policy or one rule that the professor is having: kids must be collected. He doesn't allow kids to go on their own.
Right.
So you have to come and collect your child.
Right.
I think probably because of things that are happening, kidnappings and.
Right.
So since I was the one who introduced my brother's child to this, the mother and the father, they said, you must take the responsibility of taking that child every day. So I would come every day to fetch Pearl. I would come and fetch, her name is Pearl. When I come to fetch her, I see the professor is busy. So that's how I was just always seeing.
Okay.
And the interest, it grew, it grew, it grew.
Now tell me a little bit more about the specific things you saw. So one thing you mentioned was that the kids were busy on the computer, that you saw that interaction with the device. What else did you see?
The specific things are the children. You know, sometimes when a child is happy, you can see it. Even when you are a stranger, you walk in, you can see you are disturbing something that is really exciting here. And that excitement, it grew in me, especially after I started seeing Pearl, my brother's child. When I saw her bragging even to her mother that I can operate a laptop, I got 100%. I've made another, I don't know, is it Vicky or I don't know who dances when you get 100% or 90 something percent. So those small things, they were making the child to be happy. And in a sense, I could see that they feel like they belong somewhere. Even if they're at school, they know they can't wait for that time when they go and do those things.
Did you get any impression as to what exactly the kids were learning there?
In the first place, I didn't have that impression.
No. Now, what do you know now?
Now I know that the reason for this program is not basically computer literacy or just to operate the laptop. It's all about teaching them mathematics and English using the packages, the softwares that are presently available. So that's what I noticed, that in another way, it is killing two birds with one shot. Children, they are also learning this, and at the end, and at the same time, they are also getting to, what can I say, their maths levels, their English language. It is also being developed. It is also being established in them.
What other things do you think explains why the children left you so happy? Is there anything else you can think about?
The way they were treated. Because what I noticed is, even with Naila, I was working with the professor, and the professor, you'd always attend to a child. It's more important to hug a child, or even just a hand on the shoulder. So from Naila, I could see she could go and then just put a hand and try to listen. What is really the problem? So what I noticed, they were lacking someone who would listen to them, or someone who could attend to them 100%. So I think that created that excitement. There is someone who listens to me. If I have a problem, they don't judge me. They don't say I'm dumb or I'm dumb or something. Rather, they try to find a way to let me know. If it means they would go 1,000 ways, explore 1,000 ways just to make you know one thing. So to an extent that's what I saw. I'm basing my judgments mostly on this, on Pearl, because you could see even when she's at home, when she brings her homework to her mother, it's more of rush, let's do this and then we are done, and they are not satisfied. But here you could see that each and every small problem was attended to, and at the end of the day, they would feel loved and cherished. Yeah.
Now, the job you had was a job as a teacher.
Was a job as a teacher, 2.5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you think about your own approach to teaching as a result of what you've seen here?
Now it's a total different approach. It's a very total different approach. The job for teaching, what I've seen myself, it's basically for the benefits that you get. It's not focused on the child itself. Because what I've seen in teaching, it's all about if you've done what you're supposed to do. It's not about did the children get to know it or did they benefit really. If I finish my syllabus or my curriculum, what I'm prescribed to do, I can show my HOD or my area coordinator that I've done what I'm supposed to do. Then my job is done. I put marks on the paper. But what I've seen with here, it's not an achievement if a child doesn't understand something. We are not just pushing for the sake of finishing something. But what I could see, the professor could spend even a day or maybe days trying to make sure that a certain aspect is clearly clarified and the learner knows about it. So the difference that I saw where I was teaching, it's all about, if it's not about the money, it's all about I have to do. It's like you are being pushed, you are being monitored. If you don't do this, you don't get this. But here, there is no one monitoring. It's all voluntary. People are just offering themselves. The professor can offer himself 24 hours. And Naila from Mtombo should come here and offer herself as well. So it was with no strings attached.
So tell me now, you have seen a model and you've been made aware of your own work as a teacher. You've seen some examples of excited children around. So what difference has this made for you personally to your dreams?
Yeah, to my dreams it was really different. Because when I saw this suddenly I had an interest. And I would come every now and then, almost on a daily basis, to the professor. So show me, how are you doing? I was just interested in knowing each and every step. How is it? He also shared with me his dream of teaching children, not teaching as such, but his dream of establishing a school within a school. He also told me his history, where he came from, how people rejected him, and his ideas. But in a way, I had to beg to differ, because I saw another side of his story. But personally, I was just touched by a person being a professor, all the way from Germany, coming to the rural areas. What could he be? I just saw that love. I just saw that it's something that is not attached to anything, but just to help. So, judging with what I was doing myself, if I go to school, the principal maybe is not around, then when the cat is not around, the mouse is free. So basically, that's how we operate. That's the South African way of doing things, isn't it? Where when you're not being monitored, then you have a tendency of relaxing. So when I saw this one is not monitored but is serious, it was two different worlds. And I said, maybe I can learn one or two things. And that was the statement that I used to him. Maybe we can learn one or two things from each other. So from that, he also told me his history, his stories, the countries that he have been to, and those things, they just made me to realize, no, other people, they can spend their lives and their times working for the other people.
So what's next? Now you've finished your assignment at the school, you're still in the middle of studying. What would you like to do? What's the next thing that you would love to do?
What I would love to do, I would love to work with the professor. I would really love to work with him. He told me a story once, and the theme of that story is that you can only be happy when you make another person happy, or you can only be happy when you touch another person's life and make a difference. So to me, it's always ringing a bell in my head that maybe if I can touch a person's life, I can be happy. My intentions in the future, I intend to work with the professor. I just want to know more about these projects. Hopefully I'll find my answers during the course of what I do. I want to know. Maybe I'll find my answers when we are working together.
Where do you see yourself now in, say, 2 years' time? If it's possible for you to get an opportunity to work with the professor, I mean, what do you think, what difference will that make to you over the next 2 years? What, for you, will change?
Now for me, I think it will change a couple of things. First of all, judging the fact that I'm not from South Africa, I'm a Zimbabwean, I've been discriminated in a big way. And the only friend that I would have is the professor. He can testify to that. So, judging with my background as well, I think it would help me have a self-esteem in a way. I run out of ways of how can I express it. But when a person is suffering from an inferiority complex, and at the end of the day, someone can listen to you, I think, to me, I will learn a lot of things. From Professor, I'll learn a lot of things. There are a lot of good things that he's doing, and his character in general. I think by the end of the 2 years, I'll come up with something. Yeah.
Great. Good. Thank you, Professor.